Okay. Good morning, brother and sister in the Dhamma. Welcome to the second class of the 9 attributes of the Buddha. Today, I'm Sumitra Khan, your host, together with Sister Pik Lian, Brother Tisilim, and Brother Tisilim will be our facilitator for today. So we shall start our program. The next slide, please. Sister Pik Lian, okay. So today, the program is as follows. Firstly, we will have our chanting, followed by a review of the previous topic, which is the chapter 1, Arahang. And then we'll go into our topic for today. We have two, that is the topic number 2, Sama Sambuddho and Vicca Charana Sambandho. Later on, it will be followed by question and answers. And then we will have our Buddha Nusati meditation before we end the session. So please, shall we start our chanting? So with the composed mind, please fold our hands together in Anjali and we will recite together. Okay. Firstly, we will have to pay homage to Buddha. Namo tassa
Bhagavato.
kindly mute your mic. Thank you. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. The next slide, please. Mr. Pek Lian, next slide. Thank you. Now we are taking the refuge in the Triple Gem. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyang pi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyang pi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Next slide. We shall take the 5 precepts. Pannadipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramirya macca pamatatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Next. Buddha Nusati. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vicca charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manusanang buddho bhagavati sadhu sadhu sadhu. So I will hand over to Brother Lim. Over to you, Brother Lim.
Okay, Nama Buddhaya. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Okay, first of all, welcome back to the second class of 9 attributes of the Buddha. Okay, we have a brief review of the last class. Okay, and in the Visuddhimagga, they define Arahant into 5 major qualities: the destroyer of the enemies, worthy of offerings from gods and humans; the destroyer of the spokes of wheel, of rebirth, inaccessible by evil, and devoid or empty of evil deeds, even in secret. So as a quick review, I need volunteers to just say a word or two about each of the major qualities. Yeah, any volunteers? Any volunteers, anyone? Any volunteers, please? Any volunteers? Sister Nancy, would you like to volunteer? Sister Nancy, the first one, destroyer of the enemies. Yeah, like to volunteer?
Gosh, my mind is blank at the moment.
Okay, never mind. Just your understanding of the quality of destroyer of the enemies.
Destroyer of all defilements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other things you'd like to add? Okay.
Not that good.
Okay,
So-
never mind. Okay, so actually it's going to destroy or uproot all the defilements. Okay, thank you so much, Sister Nancy. Any other volunteers for the next quality? Sister Yo, you like to volunteer? Sister Yo? Yeah.
Hello.
Second quality, yeah. Hello, good morning, Sister Yo.
Good morning. Worthy of offerings from gods and human.
Yeah.
That means because he's an arahant, right? It's still additional quality of that. So they are worthy of offerings because he got all the great qualities. The Buddha got all the great qualities of the because he's an omniscient ones, right? So he got all the good qualities. And he because the Buddha, because he realized himself all these good qualities by himself, so that's why he's worthy of gods and men. He's above all the gods and human because everything all the good qualities he found himself through his own achievements of the 6 years.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
but
you.
actually the definition here, worthy of offerings from God and humans, is mainly because he has uprooted all the defilements. Okay, basically we are not talking about the 9 attributes as yet. We are only talking about one attribute, that is Arahant. So Arahant basically is all the defilements has been uprooted, and because all the defilements has been uprooted, then it is worthy of offerings from gods and humans. Yeah, so it's all linked. In fact, the other 4 is actually a byproduct of the first one. Okay, any other volunteers for the third one? Thank you, Sister Yo, for sharing.
Thank you. Sadhu. Sadhu.
Sadhu. Any
Sister
volunteers?
Yvonne had raised hand.
Sister Yvonne?
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Because basically humans, we are all full of suffering, and all the suffering is actually due to causes and conditions.
Okay.
So the Buddha actually said that the cycle of birth and death is actually due to the 12 dependent originations. Yeah. Basically, the dependent originations starts with ignorance, right?
Yeah.
Then from ignorance arises. Okay, let me try to remember. From ignorance to still referring. I know someone. Okay, is ignorance to karmic volition. That means intentions and all that.
Yeah.
All right, karmic volitions. From karmic volitions arises consciousness, and then from consciousness, from consciousness is derived the mind and matter.
Okay.
All right, from mind and matter, then what happened is that mind and matter involves the 6 sense bases. That means our smell, our sight, our hearing, our touch, our taste, sensation as the skin. Sorry, we already have the touch. Touch, yes. Sensation is the skin and also the mind. So out of 6, we have contact. So upon contact, it causes feeling. From feeling, then it becomes a craving. All right. From craving, then it comes on to clinging. All right. And then from clinging, it comes on to the condition of birth. Of course, there's birth, and then there's aging, there's sickness, and then there's death, and then all other sufferings that come with with partying and all that kind of thing. So I think the Buddha basically, once he attained the arahantship, he was able to overcome all these, and he could actually transcend the dependent origination. That is how I understand it.
Okay, thank you so much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so basically, like craving is also a defilement. Okay, ignorance is also a defilement. So actually, because the Buddha has uprooted all the defilements, that's why he's able to destroy the wheel of the birth. Okay, next, volunteers, please.
I would
Accessible
like
by
to,
evil.
may I try?
Yeah, please.
Okay, brother, it's basically it's inaccessible by evil, and no matter how much a person is in the path, there is always a fear of Mara striking back and the Upasaka being, falling down. And whereas in the case of Araham, no evil can ever touch him because he's beyond all this. And there's no way. For another person, yes, the person could still be on the path and fall down, make mistakes. But for a fully accomplished Arahant, there's no way Mara could touch him in any way.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sadhu, Rajit.
Sorry.
Brother Rajit. Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so because you are so pure, so the purity actually protects you. Okay, so you are inaccessible by evil. Yeah, next one, the last quality. Any volunteers, please? Any volunteers? Okay. Brother Ji Ong, you like to try?
Not prepared.
Huh?
I'm not prepared.
You're not prepared. Okay, any volunteers? Or Sister Lai Chan, you like to try?
Okay. Even he has no more evil deeds. Even in secrecy, also he try his he will put up his reputation to do good things. So absent of evil, understand in secret also. So even known or not known, he always do good.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Sister Lai Chan. Okay, so evil deeds cannot arise. Okay, it cannot arise. Okay, okay. Why? Because the mental stream of the Arahant has no defilements in it, so it's impossible for him to do any evil deeds. Okay, whether in public or in secret. Next slide, please, Sister Peleng. Okay, and then the Arahant, destroyer of the enemies. Okay, there is the kilesas. Okay, this is a brief review. Okay, so the kilesas or defilements operate at 3 levels: action, mental, and latent. Okay, so action is through bodily, or that means through your deeds and speech. Okay, and this can be constrained by way of morality, by observing our precepts, our 5 precepts, and then mentally, okay, our thoughts and by practicing samatha meditation and using yoniso manasikara, wise attention. Okay, wise attention rather than wise comprehension. It's wise attention, right? I think there's a mistake here. Wise attention and understanding. Okay, understanding what? We are the owner of our own karma. Okay, that means in simple lay language, we are responsible for our own actions. Okay, so that is the Dhamma understanding. Okay, and this is how we can actually suppress the mental defilements. Okay, at the mental level. And for latent, okay, it can only be uprooted by vipassana meditation. Okay, so the above two okay, is only at that point of time. Okay, but deep within the subconscious mind, okay, the defilements is still there. So we got to cleanse our mind through vipassana meditation. Yeah, next please. So these are all the various mental defilements: wrong view, greed, craving, you know, and so on. All right. Remember, as Putujana, all of us, like you and me, okay, the word Putujana actually means producer of defilements. That is a very strong word. Okay, that means we live with defilements, we produce defilements day in, day out, moment to moment. Okay, so scary, right? Next, please. Okay, so in chapter 2, Sama Sambuddha, what is the meaning of Sama Sambuddha? Which aspect is most impactful to you when you learn about Prince Siddhartha's journey to self-enlightenment? So I will share these two, okay, about on chapter 2, and later I would invite you to volunteer to do your sharing on the meaning of Sama Sambuddha and which aspect is most impactful to you when you learn about the Bodhisattva's journey to self-enlightenment. Next slide, please. So, Sama Sambuddha is attaining full enlightenment by his own efforts without a teacher. Okay, so without the teacher, Sama means perfect. Okay, very thorough. Okay, is perfect. Okay, Sama means perfect or right. Okay, the word right means perfect, perfection. Okay, San, Samang is by himself. Okay, by oneself. And Buddha means awaken. So Sama Sambuddha is one who, without a teacher and through self-effort, attains full enlightenment to become a Buddha, one who is fully awake. So we when we do the chanting Itipitso, we need to be, when we chant the word Sama Sambuddha, we got to have this understanding that the Buddha, even without a teacher, by his own efforts, is able to attain awakening. Okay, and for us, with the Buddha as our teacher, with the Sangha as our guide, and with all the suttas available at our fingertips, and yet we are still not awakened. Okay, so let that be an inspiration. Okay, when we chant Sama Sambuddha, okay, that means we compare ourselves. Of course, we cannot compare ourselves to the Buddha, but we use the Buddha as an inspiration, as a role model to follow. Okay, if the Buddha can do it, we also can do it. Okay, maybe at a different level, but we also can do it. Okay, with the guidance of a teacher, because in this sasana, okay, the Buddha sasana is still on. We are almost more than halfway through. Okay, if you are not aware, okay, after the Buddha sasana is over, the next thing will come the dark age. The dark age is a period of time where there is no Dhamma at all. Okay, no Dhamma at all. So if you are born during the dark age, die lor. No Dhamma at all. Okay, there'll be a lot of suffering, a lot of suffering, a lot of there is no ethics at all. People will kill each other, you know, things like that. So let us treasure this time and have the agency to practice. Okay, because we do not want to be reborn during the dark age. Okay, the dark age will be quite long. Okay, of course, after the dark age will come the future Buddha, Maitreya Buddha or Pitaya Buddha. Okay, next slide, please. Though the Sama Sambuddha, okay, the Buddha, through his own effort, get awakening. So we will learn about Prince Siddhartha's journey to becoming the Buddha. Okay, we are very familiar with the 4 signs. Okay, so today I'm going to share something that besides the 4 signs, okay, there are other things that actually brought about the great renunciation. That means why the Buddha renounced. Okay, when the Brahmins foretold that Prince Siddhartha would choose to become an ascetic, okay, there was this prophecy by the Brahmin that he will either be a great ascetic or he will become a great king. Okay, and the Brahmins actually foretold that chances is he will choose to become an ascetic. So the father, King Suddhodana, decreed or declared that no old man, no sick man, no dead bodies, and no ascetic allowed to be brought in through the city gates to be seen by the prince. So he want to remove all these 4 signs because the king wants the prince to ascend the throne. So the king built 3 palaces, one for winter, one for summer, one for raining season, and ensure that Prince Siddhartha grew up in luxury and enjoying sensual pleasures. And to make the prince even more attached to worldly life, King Suddhodana, the father, arranged the prince to marry Princess Yasodhara. This is not in the book. When time drew near for the great renunciation, the Devas somehow loosened out, in inverted commas, the tight safety measure. Remember the king's degree? So it's actually the safety measures were being loosened somehow by the gods, okay, through the influence of the Devas. And the Devas actually appear in 4 occasions as an old man, sick man, a dead body, and an ascetic. The 4 signs. Okay, so the 4 signs, you are familiar. You can read about the 4 signs. It's very detailed inside your textbook. I'm not going to go through. So the site of the last one, the last site, the ascetic, was very peaceful and tranquil. And the prince went further into the park, okay, until the late evening. Then a messenger from the royal palace came looking for him, asking him to return to the palace. Why? To see his newborn son. So when he heard the news, he said, Rahulo Jato, Badanang Jatang. Okay, what it means is an eclipse or Rahu has appeared, a born created. Okay, so the messenger went back to tell the king about this, and the king thought that Prince Siddhartha gave the son Rahula to his newborn son. Okay, actually he didn't mean that. Rahu actually means an eclipse. Okay, that means it's actually something negative lah. Okay, because he doesn't want to be bonded. So when King Suddhodana heard the words from the messenger, he thought the Prince Siddhartha gave the name okay, to his grandson. So that's how the name Rahula came to be. Okay, it means eclipse. Okay, and then so the Prince Siddhartha went back to the palace, right? So when he went back to the palace, there was this beautiful princess. Okay, happened to have the same name, Kisa Kotomi. Okay, Princess Kisa Kotomi saw this handsome prince returning to the palace, and she made this joyous utterance: Libuta Nuna Samata, Libuta Nuna Sobita, Libuta Nuna Sonari, Yasayang Idiso Pati. What it means is happy indeed is the mother, happy indeed is the father, happy indeed is the wife who has a husband like this. Okay, so these words actually the Buddha was overjoyed by hearing these words, especially the word Dibuddha, which actually means extinguish or emancipation. Okay, so these ideas came to him. ideas of extinguishing lust and sorrow and emancipation from all bonds of attachment were awakened. Okay, why? Because the Buddha is actually means happiness, happy. Okay, but here the word became Nibbana, which actually means happiness, but ultimate happiness. Okay, and why? Happy indeed is the mother. That means the mother, his mother was very happy. The father was a king, Suddhodana, very happy. And the wife is very happy to her husband. So he felt that his whole family is well taken care of, even if he leave his family for the to renounce the worldly life. Okay, if the situation, the causes and condition is not there, Prince Siddhartha would not have gone forth. So that contradicts some criticism saying that the prince wasn't wasn't responsible for the family. How can you leave the family? No, it wasn't like that. Okay, he knows that his family is well taken care of. Okay, they are king, royal family. Okay, right. That is why he, the idea of the great renunciation. And then after hearing these words, Prince Siddhartha, so overjoyed, he gave this princess a valuable pearl necklace, to wear. And this princess bestowed it as a token of love to her. Okay. And then the prince proceeded to return to the palace. And then there were these dancing girls, musicians, singers began to entertain him. So the prince did not take delight in them and he fell asleep. Okay. When he woke up, he saw a very ugly sight. Some of the girls were groaning, some grinding their teeth, some had their uncovered limbs thrown apart. So the prince thought, a moment ago, they were so beautiful. Now this apartment looks like a cemetery full of dead bodies. So this idea of anicca came to him. Okay, a moment the musicians, the girls were so beautiful. So he did not take delight in all these sensual pleasures. He fall asleep, and the entertainers also fall asleep later on because the prince fall asleep. And then when he woke up, he saw this ugly sight. So the idea of impermanence, things change within moments. And so the four sides, the Dibutta Pata of Kisa Kotami and the ugly sides of the dancing girls, all got collected together in the mind of the prince to decide to renounce the worldly life. So the birth of Rahula, his son, was not strong enough to hold him back. Why? Because the perfection or the parami, okay, that he had fulfilled in his new innumerable past lives, starting to bear fruits. Okay, so when the conditions are right, everything will start to bear fruits. So remember that the Bodhisattva, this is his last life, but he was reborn in innumerable, countless past lives, perfecting his parami. Okay, and this parami will be highlighted during the next quality, Sukhato. Sukhato is a quality that many people do not understand. Okay, that is the next class. Okay, so while being at the entrance, he thought, if I go near the bed, he went to the entrance of the bedroom. So he said, the prince thought, if I go near the bed to raise her hand, Princess Yasodhara's hand, because he wanted to hold the child, Rahula, in his arms, she will wake up and prevent my departure. Okay, so he did not do that. He's just at the door of the bedroom. But he made a vow, an aspiration. And the prince says, therefore, I will come back to see my son after attaining enlightenment. Okay, so after enlightenment, he went back, So having left the palace, Bodhisattva learned samatha meditation to the highest degree from ascetic Alara Kalama and later ascetic Uddaka Ramabutta. Okay, attaining all the arupa jhana or immaterial jhanas or absorption. okay, of sphere of nothingness and sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. That is the highest jhana, okay, the highest jhana. So, but the prince, although attained the highest level of jhana, he was not satisfied. Why? Because that was not what he wanted. He wanted, it did not lead him to enlightenment. Okay, right? So he left the teachers and he began to practice extreme austerities for 6 years. Okay, he will stop. He tried to hold his breath for as long as he can. He stopped eating, you know, and only survive on a grain of rice. And you can see the Buddha image, you know, so skinny. You touch one end, you can go through the other end. Okay, actually, the Bodhisattva almost died. Okay, during the 6 years of suffering, because he practiced self-mortification. Okay, because that was the trend at that time for people seeking the truth, to practice austerities. So he abandoned this practice because he almost died, and he accepted this offering of milk rice. Okay, in the book they talk about milk porridge. Okay, but some book they talk about milk rice. So milk rice is like, if you use santan, Malaysia equivalent is like nasi lemak lah. Okay, but instead of the coconut milk, you put the cow's milk. Okay, from this lady called Sujata. So Sujata, what actually happened is she made a vow earlier at this bayang tree where the Buddha is sitting below now, to get a husband and for her firstborn to be a son. So her request was granted. Okay, and she sent her slave girl Puna to clean the foot of the banyan tree. Then Puna went to the banyan tree, saw this ascetic, the Bodhisattva, and informed Sujata, hey, the tree deity has descended. He thought that he's the tree deity. So Sujata took Puna as her elder daughter. Okay, remember Puna is her slave girl. Okay, so Sujata actually took Puna as her elder daughter and offered the milk rice, saying, may your wishes come to pass as my own. She thought that the Bodhisattva was the tree deity. Okay, so may your wishes come true lah, just like my own lah. The Bodhisattva accepted the milk rice. He took a bath in this river called Naranjara River and throw his bowl into the river, saying, if I am to succeed in attaining enlightenment, this bowl will go upstream. And he went upstream. So Prince Siddhartha proceeded to Bodh Gaya. Though he had no teachers, he was determined to succeed and vowed not to stand up from his seat until I am fully awakened. So that is patana, that aspiration that you make, that you don't even want to wake up, stand up from the seat until you are fully awakened. Okay, so and Mara, realizing this is the last opportunity to prevent the Bodhisattva from attaining Buddhahood, Mara made unto himself 1,000 arms and mounted on his elephant, Giri Mikale, to attack the Bodhisattva. Okay, so this incident is narrated in the first stanza of I can find in the chanting book, Jaya Mangala Kata. The first stanza, go and find out. Okay, the first stanza explain this incident where the Mara attacked the Bodhisattva, trying to prevent him from attaining enlightenment. Okay, so in the chanting book, normally you can find this. So what did the Buddha do? The Buddha called upon Mother Earth to bear witness to his parami and enlightenment. Okay, so what did the Buddha? You see the Buddha image, some of the Buddha image, the Buddha touched the earth with his right hand. Okay, that is asking the Mother Earth to bear witness. Then the earth shook. Okay, that means earthquake lah. Okay, and then Mara was defeated. Okay, so you see the Buddha image with his hand touching the ground. Okay, that is asking the earth to bear witness. Okay, so Mother Earth is actually there is actually a statue in Thai they call it Prame Torani, in Pali they call it Vasundara. Okay, I will send you an image. Okay, in JB in Santi Forest Monastery, okay, there is an image of Mother Earth. Okay, outside the Thai monastery in Santi Forest. Okay, now Prince Siddhartha continued to remain in the fourth jhana after his encounter with Mara. Okay, and then he continued to remain in the fourth jhana, and this is found in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 36, in the first watch. First watch meaning 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. 4 hours. The Buddha developed knowledge of recollecting past life, both his own and others. Okay. And in the second watch, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., he developed the divine eye. Is able to see the passing away and reappearance of beings from one life to another according to their karma. Okay, Dipa Chakuyana. And the last watch, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., he attained direct knowledge of the Four Noble Truths and attained Arahata Magga, eradicating all mental defilements. This is the Asawakaya Yana. Okay. Okay, so this is how you turn to page 43. Turn to page 43 of your book, Attaining Full Enlightenment by His Own Efforts. By his own effort and wisdom, without the guidance of any teacher, the prince became the fully self-enlightened one. Okay? And he attained omniscient knowledge, enable him to acquire clear comprehension of all phenomena. Okay? And what happened? The world shook, flowers bloomed to pay homage, to pay respect to the fully enlightened one. Okay, because of the emergence of a Sama Sam Buddha in the world that bring boundless hope to all who are lost in the darkness of ignorance. Okay, and also take note that all Buddha's Arahant disciples learn the path to enlightenment from a teacher, and that is the Buddha, including top disciples like Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana, who attain arahantship by learning from the Blessed One. So I've sent you some notes about Sawaka Buddhi or Sawaka Buddha, Sama Sambuddha, and even Pachika Buddha. So as we recite Itipitso and all, okay, we are urged to recall that Prince Siddhartha, without any teacher, with his own supramundane wisdom and determined effort, attained full enlightenment, and therefore the Buddha is called Sama Sambuddha. Okay, any questions? We have finished chapter 2. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is Sama Sambuddha, and this is the Arahant or Sawaka Buddha, enlightenment. Next slide, please. Okay, any questions on chapter 2? In the book, there are other details. You can read your own. Okay, I also added some other information. Okay, the next one is Vicha Charada Sampanno. Vicha means clear vision or knowledge. Okay, here it refers to higher knowledge. Okay, higher knowledge or perfect knowledge. And then Charana is conduct. That is the practice of virtuous conduct. Sampanna or sampanno and means endowed with or possess. And vichacharana sampanno, endowed with knowledge and conduct. Okay, that is the meaning of vichacharana sampanno. Next slide, please. Okay, so the next reflection will be vichacharana sampanno, explain knowledge, the 3 knowledges and 8 knowledges. So 3 plus 5 more, total 8. And explain the 15 virtuous conduct. Okay, vicha, 8 knowledges, charana, 15 virtuous conduct possessed by the Buddha. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first 3 is called Devija, okay, which is only by the Buddha. Okay, remember the first watch, the second watch, and the third watch, right? So the first watch is Pubbe Divasanas, Divasanusati Yana. Pupe Divasana Lusati Yana. Yana means knowledge. So knowledge of recollecting previous existence. Okay, your own plus others. Then we have the Dipa Chaku, the divine eye, the knowledge of the divine eye. Okay, where you can see beings dying and reborn according to their karma. And the last watch, okay, the Buddha attained Asavakaya. Sorry. Okay, the last is Asavakaya Yana, knowledge of the destruction of all things. That's where he attained Arahata Magga, which eradicated all defilements. Next slide, please. Okay, so next we go on to the fourth. Yeah. Okay, and number 4, insight knowledge, Vipassana Yana. Number 5, knowledge of creating a mind-made body, including multiple bodies. Okay, so if you, there's a story about the mind-made body. Okay, about this monk called Chula Pandaka. Chula Pandaka is, he cannot even learn, recite, or say a single verse of the Buddha, of the Dhamma. Okay, he has another elder brother, okay, called I think Mahapataka. Okay, the brother is very intelligent. Both are monks. Okay, so what happened is one day, okay, they invited the Buddha and his community by the householder Jivaka. Jivaka is the Buddha's physician, and Mahapataka was in charge. So he invited all the monks except his own younger brother. Okay, because he felt his own younger brother is not fit to be a monk. All right, because of to him, he feel that his younger brother is very stupid. Okay, but so when the Buddha came, the Buddha asked him, where is Chula Pandaka? Okay, so the Buddha asked to fetch Chula Pandaka, and the messenger went to invite him, and when he go there, he find there is so many thousands and hundreds of Chula Pandaka. The messenger came back. He said so many Chula Pandaka. You don't know which one is which one. Okay, so I think it was the 3rd time that the Buddha told the messenger that you get hold of the person who first said that he was Chula Pandaka. So the messenger go there, you ask, who is actually Chula Pandaka? Okay, so all will answer. Okay, but the Buddha told him, the first one who answer is the real Chula Pandaka. Okay, so the messenger get hold of him, and the others, Chula Pandaka disappeared. This is found in the suttas. Okay. So this is an example of creating a mind-made body, including multiple bodies. Okay. And this is also happened during when the Buddha went up to teach Abhidhamma. So he came down to take his lunch, came down to earth to take his lunch. He also create a mind-made body up there to continue. The sixth is knowledge of various kinds of psychic powers. The Buddha can fly through the sky, go underground, he can go through walls, he can go to heaven and go to another realm of existence and come back within seconds. Okay, that is his ability. However, the Buddha does not simply perform his psychic powers, okay, to show off. No. Okay, so normally the Buddha hardly use any of his psychic powers, hardly use. Okay, and one of those times is when he returned to his family. Okay, in Kapilavastu. Okay, because his clan, his royal family, the Sakyan family, are very conceited, very proud. Okay, so they actually look down upon the Buddha. Okay, so to discourage the conceit, the Buddha performed the twin miracle. The twin miracle is the water and fire coming out from the Buddha's body at the same time. So when they saw the twin miracle, okay, they break their conceit lah, okay, and they pay respect to the Buddha. Okay, they revere the Buddha. Okay, and another example that the Buddha don't simply use is when he wanted to go to Kusinara to enter into Paridibana. Okay, right? So at the old age, he was actually in very ill health. His health wasn't good. The legs were very painful as an old man, and Kusinara is very far away. But the Buddha walked for months to Kusinara. Okay, he could have fly there, you know, using psychic power, but the Buddha did not. He walked there for months. Okay, and he wanted to ordain this venerable Subhadra. Okay, because he knew that he's ready for enlightenment, and that was his his last disciple. So the last disciple of the Buddha was Venerable Subhadra. And 7 is the divine ear. Okay, so you can hear the sounds of both human and both divine, seen and unseen, far or near. And the 8th knowledge is able to read the mind of others. So that he knows the mind, whether it's with passion or without passion, liberated or unliberated. Okay, and he can see whether a particular being, okay, is at which stage of awakening. Okay, so he can see, he can tell us he's a Sotapanna, Anagami, you know, the Buddha is able to know. Okay, of course, nowadays we are not able to know this. Okay, last is the 15 kinds of virtuous conduct. Next slide, please. So this is the Buddha's 15 virtuous conduct. Okay, restrained by the rules of the community. Okay, Patimokkha. Patimokkha is the 227 rules of the monks and 311 for the bhikkhuni. Okay, so Patimokkha, Samvara, Sila. Sila is for your virtue or your precepts. Samvara is restraint. Okay, restraint. Okay, so Patimokkha is your training rules lah. But this is the training rules for the monks. So when one observes these rules, it sets one free from the pain of loss. Okay, and that is why it's called Patimokkha. And all these rules, or here Patimokkha is part of the Vinaya rules, were all enacted by the Buddha, okay, not by anyone else. So the Vinaya rules are all set up by the Buddha, okay. And normally, the first 20 years, there were no Vinaya rules at all. Why? Because they were all his disciples were all Arahants. Don't need any Vinaya rules. Okay, it's only later when the Sangha became so famous and a lot of people joined the Sangha for uh, a bad reason, not a good reason to join the Sangha. Okay, because the Sangha was strongly supported by the royalties. So they joined the Sangha not to gain enlightenment, but to have a good life. Okay, all right, because it's supported by the kings. You don't need to work, you get free food. Okay, and also because of Jiwaka. Jiwaka was a very miraculous doctor. Okay, and Jiwaka will not look after lay people. He will only look after the monks. Actually, he's a personal physician for the monk. Okay, so and Jiwaka wants to look only after the monks. So a lot of people wanted to see Jiwaka, they ordained. So they ordained for the wrong reason. And that is why the Buddha got to come up with new rules. Okay. The next one is restraint of the six sense faculties, Indriya, Samvara, Sila. Okay. Just as we know that Putujana, like you and me, worldlings, we are producer of defilements. And why producer of defilements? When there is contact between our six sense faculties, there is our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind with the six sense objects. And what happened? If it is present, craving will arise. Okay, if it's unpleasant, aversion will arise. So every day we come into contact with our self, that is why we need to restrain and be mindful of our six sense faculties. And the third one is moderation in eating. Okay, we need to know the right amount of food to preserve a healthy body. And then when we serve oneself, we can reflect, I partake of this food. This is in page 52. I partake of this food not for play, not for pride, not for beautification, not for splendor, but only for the maintenance and continuance of this body, to ease the discomfort of hunger and to support the practice of the holy life, brahmacharya, holy life. Reflecting wisely, I will destroy the old feeling of discomfort due to hunger without creating new feelings by overeating. Thus, I will maintain myself, be healthy, blameless, and live in comfort and at peace. So this is actually just like the Christians, when before they take their meal, they will do grace. Okay, they will say grace. So this is in a way, the Buddhist equivalent of it. Okay, but it's not grace in the sense that it's actually contemplation. Okay, so that we do not overeat. There's one incident that the Buddha advised King Bibisara also about overeating. Okay, because it's too fat. Okay, so the next one, number 4, is devotion to mindfulness. Okay, so the Buddha make a determined effort sitting and walking back and forth with mindfulness during the first watch, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Second watch, lion posture, reclining on the right side of the body, left leg on the top of right leg, and mindfully noting the time to wake up. So this is the lion posture, or sometimes they call it the sleeping Buddha. Actually, it's not sleeping Buddha. Okay, it's the lying posture. Okay, and why recline on the right side? Because our heart is on the left side. Okay, if you turn and recline on the left side, your body, okay, is actually weighing down on your heart. So it's not healthy, okay, to lie on the left side. So when you sleep, you either sleep facing directly upwards or you recline on the right side. That's a lying posture. And some Buddhists believe that on your time of, on your last deathbed, okay, it's actually good to recline on the right side of your body, just like the Buddha. The Buddha passed into Parinibbana by on the lying posture. Just take note. During the last watch, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., the Buddha used walking and sitting meditation to purify the mind. In other words, one makes an effort to maintain continuity of mindfulness in 4 postures: sitting, walking, standing, and lying down. Lying down is the lying posture. Maybe one fine day we can try to meditate on the lying posture. Okay. The Buddha preserved his mindfulness by only sleeping for 1 hour and 20 minutes each day. So you just imagine 1 hour and 20 minutes. Of course, I'm not asking us to sleep only 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay. We need at least 7 to 8 hours. Okay. Or as we go older, we may need less. But those who meditate, you will realize that you will need less hours to sleep. Because when you meditate, especially if you can go into the jhana, your body is at rest. Okay, right? It's at rest. So the remainder of the conducts are the 7 good practices. There is faith, sada. Here, sada means unshakable faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. It's just like now we are actually learning the 9 attributes of the Buddha to strengthen our faith in the triple gem. So Saleh Susila is yet to come out with Dhammanusati and Sanghadusati. Okay, so hopefully one day it will come out. Or maybe volunteers from all of you to help her and encourage her to come up with the book so that we can practice the other 2 reflections. Okay, because it will help in attaining Sotapanna in this life. 6 sense of shame, hiri. Okay, so the Buddha had already eradicated all mental defilements. He would not violate any rules, any training rules, or any precepts. Okay, so a deep sense of shame is always in him. He will never break. And fear of wrongdoing, there is, you fear karma. Okay, if you do unwholesome acts, you will get unwholesome results. You fear the law, you believe in the law of karma and you fear karma. Okay, so in Buddhism, hiri and otapa is the guardian of the world. Okay, without hiri, without otapa, the whole world will be chaos. Okay. 8, having great knowledge, bahusutta. Okay, great knowledge include learning the ancient discourses. There is the Tipitaka, the Sutanta, the Abhidhamma, the Sutanta, the Vinaya, and Abhidhamma, as well as the insight knowledges. Okay, the insight knowledges that we can gain through bhavana or meditation. So when the Buddha attains Buddhahood, the omniscient knowledge that knows everything that he wanted to know is there. Okay, 9, right effort, viriya. The 4 right efforts, okay, include avoiding unwholesome qualities, abandon unwholesome qualities, okay, cultivating wholesome qualities, nourishing wholesome qualities. Here we are talking about qualities of the mind. The 4 right effort, which is found in the Noble Eightfold Path. Number 10 is mindfulness and full awareness, sati samajana. Okay, the Buddha is so mindful that he can remember and recollect even things that were done and said long ago. Okay, so like us, sometimes, okay, we go to the room to collect something, and after going to the room, we forgot what we wanted to collect. Okay, so we got to be mindful. Okay, so the Buddha is always mindful. Okay, even things long ago he can remember. Wisdom, Panya. The Buddha's wisdom was able to penetrate the arising and passing away of phenomena, leading to the right and complete ending of suffering. Okay, and the other four is the practice of the four jhanas. First, second, third, and fourth jhana. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, why is it important to gain both knowledge and conduct? How do we obtain knowledge and cultivate virtuous conduct through daily practice? Okay, so here is something very interesting. Vicha charana sampanno. Knowledge and conduct are both equally important to a practitioner. Okay, and this is something that I only learned in the 9 attributes of the Buddha. Okay. Okay, so many of us feel that we meditate enough already, no need to learn Dhamma. And some learn Dhamma, never meditate. Okay, but in learning these 9 attributes, the Buddha emphasized that both are equally important. Learning the Dhamma and meditation. I once attended a retreat by Sayadaw U Tejaniya. A yogi asked Sayadaw this question. Sayadaw replied the same, both are equally important. And Sayadaw says, during the retreat, I give instruction to you on how to meditate. These instructions on how to meditate is called Dhamma. Okay, it's called Dhamma. So if Sayadaw do not give the instruction on how to meditate or do not share the Dhamma, how can the yogi meditate? Okay, so you turn to page 56. We develop our conduct. So how we develop our conduct? We practice good deeds, generosity, observe our precepts, persistent effort, okay, practice meditation with one hope, that is, meet up with a good spiritual friends, Kayana Metta. So remember, the Buddha told Venerable Ananda that Kayana Metta, or spiritual friendship, is the whole of the spiritual life, not a part of it. Okay, so spiritual friend, someone who can show you the path to liberation. And our best spiritual friend is none other than our teacher, the Buddha, followed by the noble Sangha. So since the Buddha is gone, any monks can show us the way to end the suffering of birth and death. And these monks, or Bante, is our good spiritual friend. We develop knowledge to gain penetrative insight into anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanence, suffering, and not self nature of the mind and body. In doing so, when we encounter a wise teacher, and by listening to the Dhamma taught, we will, with due diligence and mature wisdom on our part, reach the final goal of realizing Nibbana. In other words, if in our present life we perfect our conduct, and is not accompanied with knowledge, then even though we are reborn at the time of the Buddha. You are able to hear the Dhamma, even though you are able to hear the Dhamma directly from the Buddha in that life, it is not easy to realize the Four Noble Truths. Okay, an example given in the sutta is King Pasenadi of Kosala. Every day he visited the Buddha, sit next to the Buddha, learn the Dhamma from the Buddha directly, yet he cannot attain enlightenment. Okay, why? Because he did not accumulate the seed of knowledge in the past life. On the other hand, if a person has knowledge but is lacking in good conduct, even though he or she is capable of gaining enlightenment, absorbing the Dhamma in the next life and becoming awakened after hearing the Dhamma, but the chances of meeting a Buddha, the chances of meeting a good spiritual teacher, a good Kalyana Metta to help you to gain enlightenment will be very, very slim. That means you are able to understand the Dhamma, penetrate into the Dhamma easily, but your chances of meeting and hearing the Dhamma is very slim. That will also be an obstacle towards your enlightenment. So we are lucky to be reborn at a time when the Dhamma is still flourishing, and we should make every effort to develop both knowledge and conduct together. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, Vichacharana Sampano, the importance of both knowledge. Person with perfect conduct, not accompanied with the seed of knowledge, not easy to realize Four Noble Truths, even if you hear the Dhamma directly from the Buddha. Just imagine. Person who has knowledge but lacking in good conduct, chances of meeting a Buddha or good spiritual teacher is very slim. Okay, due to previous imperfections of conduct. That is why Vichacharana Sampanno, endowed with both knowledge and virtuous conduct. Next. And how okay, before this slide, go back again. Go back. Go back to the slide with the discussion about the first one, about what is defined discussion. Yes. No. Before this, there's another one about the chapter 2 one. This one is chapter 3. Chapter 2 discussion. Go back. Chapter 2 discussion. Go back. Okay. Right. So any sharing? What is the meaning of Sama Sambuddho? Any volunteers? This one very easy, ma. Very, very easy. Any volunteers? Please. Now is your turn.
Brother, if I may, Samma Sambuddho is somebody who is fully awakened or thoroughly awakened, but not without a teacher, all by himself.
Yeah. Right. Very good. Thank you, brother. Sadhu. Okay, which aspect is most impactful to you when you learn about Prince Siddhartha's journey to self-enlightenment? Which aspect is most impactful to you? Share. Please share. So the Buddha make the great renunciation, attain the highest jhana. He left, practice austerity for 6 years. Okay, and even on the day of enlightenment, he was attacked by Mara. Any sharing, please?
If I may try again.
Yes.
the most impactful feature of Prince Siddhartha Gautama's journey to self-enlightenment to me is he tried all the extreme paths to enlightenment, and he found that that is not the way of doing it, because at that time in India, severe austerities was the way to enlightenment. But Buddha devised the middle path, neither too much nor too little. The middle path in everything you do. And that had an impact for me. We should not be extremists. Right? We are like by nature, we are either this or we are that. We have to take sides. We are democratic or we are Democrats or Republican. We have to take sides. But the Buddha's middle path is very clear. You have to find a balance. That is one thing. Secondly, he left his family, his wife and his kid, and his father, who was still alive at that time. Yes, and of course his foster mother. No, because he wanted to. The compassion in him. He wanted to find the answer to the problems of the four sightings he saw: death, and old age, illness, and of course, the sight that made him very happy was of a holy man. So he wanted to find the answers to this. That quest is his basically his compassion for humanity. But this also really touched me quite a lot. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, Sister Yvonne, you raise your hand.
Yeah, for me, I find that the workings of causes and conditions. It's just like our teacher went through so much. Even at birth, he was destined. I mean, there was a prophecy that says that he either becomes an ascetic or that he becomes a very strong king, a very good king. I mean, a very powerful king. But you see, the destiny, his causes and condition is that even though whatever the father tries to do, when the conditions are right, he still becomes a Buddha. I think this one applies to our everyday. This one applies a lot to our level of determination. You see, because the example struck me is that, yesterday I had my booster. And what happened was, middle of the night, it was really bad. I know I had to come for the course this morning, but I had fever last night, middle of the night. I didn't sleep very well because a lot of aches and pains, yeah. So somehow, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the Buddha. I'm just saying causes and conditions. So actually, this mind was actually making a lot of excuses to skip this class. It's like say, okay, I'm going to tell Brother Lin, our teacher, that I've got booster. I had it very badly, I will still sit in the class. Number one, I will off the screen. That was what I was thinking. So you don't see how awful I look. Okay. So then the other one is that I will just say that, I may have to drop off halfway if I'm falling asleep. All right. Then after that, this thing just came on and said, this is just your defilement working, trying to keep you away from, a very valuable course, a lesson. And somehow or other, I say, okay, I'll leave it to, let's see what happens, And then after that, when the time came, I'm here. So I think a lot of things is causes and condition. I really believe in it. So many things has happened that you really believe, that whatever will be, will be. That one really struck me. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. One last, Sherry.
Yeah, can I share something, Brother Lim?
Yes, sure.
It is one word that struck me. That's atape of the Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Please repeat what you say just now. Sister?
Yeah, I just say that there's only one word that struck me about the Buddha is his atape.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd like to explain what is atapi?
His perseverance, like even though he's encountered so many challenges, but he's able to overcome that. And that probably because also he has the wisdom and compassion as well.
Okay, thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah.
Okay, we go on to the next discussion for chapter 3, Sister Pei. Okay, right. Why is it important for Buddhists to gain both knowledge and conduct? Any volunteers? Any volunteers?
If I may attempt,
Yeah, please.
um, how would it be if a professor in a university, a very knowledgeable man, a PhD or a postdoc, somebody who has done a postdoctoral thesis, is teaching his class, but he doesn't follow any morality, Shila? Who would
Yeah.
listen to him? Nobody. I mean, he doesn't gain the respect of his students. So what they mean by knowledge and conduct is you set an example, you do by example. Knowledge is there, Dhamma is there, Buddha has already given it to everybody, but you cannot gain it without right conduct. Even if you gain it, you will not maintain it. You will lose it because of poor conduct, is what I understand. Both go hand in hand. It takes two to clap, probably. It takes two hands to clap. So it's like a rail line, a train track. Both go hand in hand. Both go together.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. So actually, we need both. Okay, in learning this quality of the Buddha, Vicha Charana Sampanno. Okay, even the Buddha himself needs both. Okay, to become a to become a Sambuddha. Okay, so both are equally important. And especially many meditators, yogis today, believe that we meditate enough now, no need Dhamma. It's actually a very wrong view. Okay, this is actually the influence of the forest monks. Okay, of the forest monks who go into the forest to meditate to gain enlightenment. Okay, but we as lay people, we cannot see the whole picture. Okay, and many were inspired like forest monks like Ajahn Chah and all this. Even Ajahn Chah, if you look into his biography, okay, in the early years, Ajahn Chah is also study Dhamma, okay. He also go to the monastery to study Dhamma, you know, okay, before he went before he went to practice solitude in the jungles in the Thailand. But before that, he also studied Dhamma. Okay, that is one aspect. Okay, people do not see before that what did the monk do. The monk actually did study Dhamma. Okay, even from the talk, sometimes you will see that he has Dhamma knowledge. Okay, a very simple thing is he can talk to you about Abhidhamma, because Abhidhamma is one subject, okay, that if you don't study it, you will not know it. Okay, and sometimes it's because of past life. Okay, the past life you have gone into studies. So in this life, you need very little study. You need more practice. Okay, so many of us are worldlings. Okay, not only we want shortcut, we want less things to do. We need both. We only do one. If it takes time and persistence, we want as soon as possible. That's why you find people who attend retreats after retreats. After 20 years, 30 years, same thing, no improvement. Okay, right? But there are people who actually gain insights within a very short time. Okay, what the Buddha says. You know what did the Buddha say? You know what's the fastest time to gain enlightenment? 7 days. That's the fastest time one can attain enlightenment. 7 days. Okay, that is why in most retreat, they conduct 10 days retreat, a very standardized 10 days retreat. 3 days to settle down, 7 days to get enlightened. But how many yogis get enlightened after 10 days? Okay, because it's found in the suttas. The shortest time to gain enlightenment is not 7 hours, it's 7 days. Okay, and that's why meditation retreat normally is 10 days, 3 days for you to settle down, 7 days to get enlightened. So always remember that when you go for retreat. Okay, but at least even though we don't get enlightenment, we get little enlightenment here and there. That means we gain insights. Okay, we gain insights. That is knowledge also. Right? Any other sharing?
Brother Wu.
Please.
The way I see is that for Westerner, usually they get to Buddhism, learn Buddhism through meditation. And then for Asian, usually they sort of learn Buddhism through doing Dhamma. So it's just two different sort of ways of learning Buddhism. One is through meditation. One is they concentrate on the bhavana part, and then Asian concentrate on the dana part. But it's just like two extreme. One is talk about extreme of sensual pleasure. The other one is through austerity. That's how I see it. But I think like the Buddha said that we have to follow a middle path. In order to follow a middle path, that we must have both knowledge and conduct. That's my answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing, Dr. Wu. Two participants raised hand. I cannot see on my screen who raised hand.
Lina.
Sister Lina, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers, sisters.
Yeah.
Maybe for my journey on the learning, after I get to know, and then I have reading about the Devadatta. Maybe also made me to reflect. So he got the psychic power. He also good meditator, but without the Dhamma also, maybe make him have go to the wrong way. So why is as our practitioner, as a learner, we also need to practice both in the balanced way. Thank you. That's my sharing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sister Lina. One more. One more. I could not see. If you can you spotlight the speaker, because we could not see the screen of the speaker. Okay, who's the next person who put up the hand, please? Any volunteers who put up the hand? Just now I thought I saw two. In the chat box there were two. One is Nina. Who's the other one? In my screen I cannot see anyone. Or any volunteers, please?
Yeah, Brother Lim, I'm Sister Su here.
Okay.
I really like the way you say that, we need to learn Dhamma and also meditate. Because we need the conduct. To me, we need to have this conduct where we practice generosity, morality, humble service, persistent effort, and all. So when we meditate, we can reflect our actions, and we can contemplate and continue to practice our conduct. And with the knowledge that we gain, we understand much better. And that is the reason why we need to have both knowledge and conduct. Am I right in my understanding?
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, definitely you're right. Because the Buddha also need knowledge and conduct. Sister Yvonne, you raise your hand again.
Yeah, I mean, conduct and all that is very important. I mean, we learn the right way. What worries me are some views, wrong views that they think is correct. One of those is, okay, we come back to the question of whether vegetarianism. I think it's something for us to ponder about. Some people are very fixed on vegetarianism because they think that being vegetarians, they become closer to enlightenment. I think that is one thing. Sometimes gaining knowledge also, we must also be discerning enough to know what kind of knowledge, and then some, of course, if you look at it, I mean, I take, for example, like, they just do chanting with the beads. I have family members, they chant. And to them, they said, after chanting, you have to continue chanting. I mean, this thing has been put in my mind. You must always be chanting, because chanting is the only way that upon death that you can go to heaven. So the dangerous part about our culture, and I agree with the brother who just mentioned just now, is that the culture that we are brought up with is rather extreme. There are a lot of wrong views in it, So it's very important for us to learn the Dhamma, to understand, what is the kind of knowledge that is the truth, that will lead us to the truth, and not something based on the, rites and rituals or whatever that's passed on through the generations. So if you look at, there are many so-called Buddhists out there, or I won't say so-called Buddhists, they are Buddhists because they really have faith in the Buddha, but it's just that certain things that they have been taught to learn are actually wrong, and they don't realize it.
Yeah, totally agreed, Sister Yvonne. Okay, so views are something that is very, very difficult to change because our craving to our own views is the strongest. Okay, we always believe that we are right. We never say that we are wrong. Okay, we always believe that we are right and the other party is always wrong. Okay, that is the problem. Yeah, and then talking about vegetarianism. Okay, if eating vegetables can help in spirituality, then rabbits and goats will all get enlightened because they only eat vegetables. Does it make sense? So it's good to go on vegetarian in terms of health, okay, in terms of medical research, if it's for good health, okay, and even for personal reasons, if you feel that you will not like to be indirectly involved in killing, okay, so that is your personal take, okay, but it should not be imposed as a generic view for all that it is compulsory, okay. And on the other hand, okay, the Buddha did not make vegetarianism as compulsory is because monks go on Armstrong, they cannot choose food, so they will take whatever they like, okay. And what we lay people do is we take advantage of this knowledge, okay. So in the same way, we also eat meat and enjoy eating meat, okay, because we always quote the Buddha. This is wrong way of quoting, you know, okay. The Buddha can eat meat, why can't I eat meat? Yeah, it's a wrong way, because they have no choice. Where else we lay people, we have a choice, we can choose, okay, but it is not compulsory, of course, okay. But what is more important is observing our precepts, is killing, right? So rather than imposing, actually Buddhism is more of a self-discipline, okay. We discipline our mind, we discipline ourselves, okay, to live a Dhamma life, a life according to the Dhamma. And we do not impose on other people, okay. We can only be a role model. We can only be an inspiration for others to follow, but we should not impose and criticize others. A year, you do this, you will go to hell. No, that is not Buddhism. We don't do that. Yeah. Okay, let us
Sister
go to
Sue,
the second
Sister
sharing.
Sue raise hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, okay, continue, please.
Yeah, I would like to say I agree with you that we should not have the wrong concept of taking vegetarian. But the crux of it is that it is out of compassion to the animals that we eat. And if you have seen videos and all on how they are killed and slaughtered in the market for industrial purposes, and also because of our environmental thing, you know, in the amount of money they put in to maintain the meat and all. So we need to understand what is the right reason of following certain things, and not just because we need to do it. But if you are out of compassion and you look at how they are slaughtered, how they are affecting our environment, then we take vegetarian. Then that is the right view and the right cause of taking vegetarian. That is my input.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah.
Brother
Thank you
Len,
so much. Yes.
if I may share an incident, okay,
Yeah.
there was a person from my place who has just become a monk. He was to become a monk 2 years back, but thanks to the COVID problem, it got delayed. So I had a chat with him before he left India. He had joined the Forest Sangha in Thailand of
Yep.
Ajanta.
Mm.
So I asked him, see, I'm a vegetarian. Say tomorrow I decide to become a monk. How do I manage? It's not only religious or the pain. I'm also allergic to certain food stuff. So
Yes.
how do I survive? So he said when they go for the collection, for the food collection, they collect the food and it's brought back to the monastery and it is separated as vegetarian and non-vegetarian, so you will not have a problem. You know, that
Yes.
is the latest I heard on this subject about monks. Like you rightly said, the lay people have got a choice. The monks don't have a choice, but yes, in the monastery they do a split. This is what I heard.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more who raise hand? Sister Sumitra? Or
Not
Sister?
at the moment.
Not at
Not
the
at the
moment.
moment.
Yeah. So it's out of compassion we observe vegetarian, but on the other hand, if the meat, the animal has died, okay, so we are actually allowed not to eat the meat because it is allowable, because it is not killed by you. Of course, you cannot order, okay, the meat, I want this chicken, and then you kill the chicken, get killed because of your instruction. That is direct killing. Okay, but if the chicken already died, okay, when you go to the market, it's a dead chicken, it is okay in the sense. So we Buddhists, we would not want to go to extreme, but this is a personal take lah. Anyone, it's good to be a vegetarian. Okay, I'd like to share something about sky burial. Okay, for the dependents, when they die, they do not cremate the body. Okay, because they feel that it's a waste of the body. So what do? They offer the body, okay, for vouchers to eat their body. Okay, so that's another way of compassion. Okay, Tibetan Buddhism, okay, they actually offer their bodies, to the animals for them to eat. Okay, so there's a place there, and then they will die there, and then the vultures will come and eat their bodies. To them, is even at death, they offer their body. That is dana parami. Okay, so we also is up to personal take. Okay, very good. Okay, Parsi community in India offer their bodies after passing also to the vultures. Yeah. Okay, so this is another way of looking at things lah. Okay, but of course it's not compulsory. Okay, just like many of us, upon of death, we also offer our organs, right, for medical research, or even offer our organs to save lives. Okay, okay, so this is all compassion. Okay, and next, how do we obtain knowledge and cultivate virtuous conduct through daily practice? Anyone want to share? One or two sharing, then we'll go into Buddhanusati. How do we obtain knowledge and cultivate virtuous conduct? One sharing, please. At least one. Anyone? Anyone? Anyone?
Brother, if I may, by following
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Sila, Samadhi, and Panya,
Yeah.
We will be able to obtain both knowledge and also the virtuous conduct.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, following the precepts and the Eightfold Noble Path, understanding and contemplating the Four Noble Truths again and again, and knowing that everything is anicca, anatta, and dukkha, will sort of bring us to a situation where we really see what is out there in black and white. In this, we gain good knowledge and the conduct also gets streamlined. This is what I believe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone?
Sister Sue.
Yeah, Sister Sue, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, to do that, we need to continuously learn the Dhamma, understand the Dhamma, and then followed by meditation, on a daily basis to reflect what you have done and then use your knowledge from what you have learned from the Dhamma to correct ourselves.
Yeah, well said, sister. Well said, Sister Sue. Well said. Any other sharing? Ina?
Thank you. Maybe I try to learn the Patipati, Pariyati, and Patiweda. After we learning, we also deepen our knowledge. We also need to practice it well. So this is also process and gradually training for ourselves and including for me. So yeah, we follow the Four Noble Truth and then also following the Noble Eightfold Path, try to our living daily practice. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next slide, please, Sister Pele. Next slide. No. Before that. Yeah. Okay. So this is one way to obtain knowledge and cultivate virtuous conduct through daily practice. Okay. And we can learn the Dhamma by attending to Dhamma talks, reading the suttas, discourses, Dhammapada, Jataka stories, Dhamma books, chanting, and Q&A discussions. We can learn by memorizing. We can recite or practice verbally, okay, including sharing of Dhamma, teaching the Dhamma, discussing about the Dhamma, and we can contemplate and examine, okay, using our mind through samatha and vipassana meditation to discern, reflect, and put the Dhamma into practice. And by penetrating them well, we right view and undertaking things correctly. So this is basically how do we obtain knowledge, okay, in our daily life. So learning the Dhamma, listening to Dhamma talk, reading suttas, all this is important. Memorizing, chanting the suttas, okay, and also gaining insights through the practice of samatha and vipassana, and penetrating them well with right view and undertaking things correctly. So these are the 5 ways we can actually obtain knowledge through our daily practice. Okay, in terms of virtuous conduct, is to put the Dhamma into the practice, how we interact with the society, okay, whether we are role model for others to follow, or whether we always criticize others, or whether we often shout at others, or whether we always do charity and help others even without asking, or do a good deed from moment to moment with a compassionate heart. All these simple things are putting the Dhamma into practice. Okay, right? So a lot of us Buddhists, we focus on learning, obtaining knowledge. Okay, but when come with interacting with fellow Buddhists or even with non-Buddhists, sometimes we misbehave. Okay, we misbehave. Okay, so we got to be more mindful from moment to moment, okay, in our daily practice. Okay, so both knowledge and conduct are equally important. Okay, otherwise, even though we sit next to the Buddha, we still cannot gain enlightenment. Or we can gain enlightenment, but we will never meet the right teacher to just give us that magical touch. Okay, so with that, I will conclude today's sharing, and thank you everyone for sharing so that all of us could learn from your sharing. Okay, next, please. Any question and answer before we go to meditation? If there's no Q&A, we move on. Next one. Okay, we'll do Udanusati now.
Iti piso bhagava อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณะสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิดูอนุทาโรปุริสดัมมาสารถิสัทธาเดวามนุสานังบุตโธภควาติ
Please play the video, the audio at the bottom, Sister Pek Lian.
And now how should we start? First, because all of us come from your mundane world and come here for spiritual cultivation, but the mind is still restless. Therefore, the first thing you should do is keep on reciting in your mind these 9 virtues. If you can learn my heart already, if you already learn my heart, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicha Charana Sampano, recite again 10 times, 20 times. The purpose of reciting is to help you to get rid of restless mind first. Otherwise, you want to think Arahang, the mind go to another object. Then you get lost. There's no point doing like that. Therefore, in order to overcome the state of restless mind, we keep reciting first. Make your mind occupied with the 9 virtues of the Buddha first to prevent any agitation or restless mind. So at first, keep on reciting 20 times. Arahang Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho for 20 times. Then after that, initially, in fact, we encourage yogis to recite orally. But now we are in a meditation retreat. So inside orally is not possible unless you are alone, right? So you recite in the mind. Then after 20 times, you try to pick up 1 virtues. Let's say Arahang. Then before you can take the Buddha image behind me as object of your contemplation. Now you open your eyes and look at the Buddha image. You see how serene, how peaceful, how pure his mind. So try to recollect, see his face, his serene posture, his face, his compassion, his wisdom, and his effort. So he's sitting there, never moved, right? So then after that, then you can, looking at the Buddha image, at the same time, mentally recite Arahang, 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 Arahang. Then gradually, like 1 minute, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Then you keep reciting in the mind, Arahang, Arahang, Arahang. When you recite Arahang, don't do so fast. If you do too fast, you get tired. But if you too slow, Arahang, then you feel sleepy. So middle, middle, Arahang, Arahang. Then when you recite Arahang, Arahang, your mind must thoroughly understand the meaning of Arahang, as I have explained to you already. If you just recite Arahang without understanding the meaning, there will be no joy, happiness, and faith in you. So while reciting, you already understand. Arahang means what? Killer of all defilements. So therefore, he is peace, happy, pure. So you also can imagine if I also like Arahang, no more defilement. Wow, what happy my life is. So you must try yourself. Try any method to make yourself happy and joyful. So arahang, arahang. You recite few words arahang, arahang. Then you remember the meaning of arahang. Cure of defilements. Then arahang, arahang, arahang. Oh, worthy of respect by all men and gods. So again, you recite arahang, arahang few times, then recollect his meaning. Then after again arahang, 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 then recollect another meaning again. And once a while, remember the image of the Buddha in your mind. Not all the time. All the time your mind get very tired. But once a while, keep that image in your mind. At the same time, recite arahang, arahang, arahang. After sometimes you recollect the image again, then arahang, arahang, and recollect the meaning of arahang again. Okay, this one you can do about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, first time you do, you will have a lot of joy, happiness, and faith. But after 15 minutes, joy, happiness slowly go down, come down, slowly disappear. At the time, what to do? I would like to suggest you recollect another virtue, Samma Sambuddho, to prevent the mind get boring, to prevent the mind losing the joy and happiness. So you reflect, Samma Sambuddho, change to another virtues. Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, understand the meaning. He get enlightened by himself rightly, without any guidance from other teacher. And it become enlightenment simply out of compassion for us. So keep on reflecting. Sometimes the tear may come up. The tear may drop from your eyes. That's good, because you are touched by Buddha's compassion. Okay? Then keep on, Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, with his meaning for 15 minutes. Then if you feel boring again, then you shift to another virtues, Buddho, 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 Buddho. Then you understand the Buddho means awaken to the Four Noble Truths. Then you recollect a little bit what is the meaning of Four Noble Truths. Only then you will appreciate why awaken to the Buddha, to the truth is called Buddho. So 15 minutes, then all 45 minutes. Okay, same thing when you do walking. After this, there will be walking meditation. But since AVMC has no flat land, if you find no place to walk, you can do standing meditation. Stand on the floor, then just recollect arahang, arahang, Samma Sambuddho, or keep on reciting these 9 virtues again and again. Or you can find any place to walk, up there, down there, any place you want to walk. If you don't want to walk, you just do standing meditation. Okay, the way of doing is the same, only posture different. When you walk, you also recite arahang, Samma Sambuddho, Vijja Charana Sampanno, to keep your mind occupied with Buddha's virtues. Okay, and if you feel sleepy, do standing meditation. Okay, and after you recollect, spend 45 minutes for these 3 virtues, arahang, Samma Sambuddho, and Buddho, and later on you will feel which one you feel more touching, which one you feel maybe among these 3, let's say Buddho. When you recollect the quality of Buddho, you feel more touched and more joy, happiness, and faith. Then gradually you should stick to only one. You change to another virtues only when your mind get boring, your mind get restless, the mind get not interested. Then you shift to another virtues. Then you will have new joy, happiness, and faith again. This is the way how to do it, skillful way how to overcome your hindrances. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Welcome back, brother and sister. I hope you have had a peaceful meditation session. And now we have come to the end of today's class. We will have our sharing of merits together. Please put our palms together. Sharing of merits. We share the merit we have accumulated today from chanting, discussing the Dhamma, and meditation practice. With all devas, all creatures, and all sentient beings, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings rejoice and gain from our merits. May they be well and happy. May all beings always be guided by the triple gems towards full liberation. Idang me punyang asawakaya wahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibanasa pacayo hotu. Mama punya bagang sapa satanang pajemi. Te sabe me samang punya bagang labantu. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.